Hey there, it's Mia here. I am so excited. I'm super excited about this live tonight. I'm going to teach very simply how to bet on yourself. You know, the importance of betting on yourself. You are your number one asset. I'm going to break that down for you today. I'm Mia Redrick. I am the mom strategist, business, and a life consultant. And I got started in my company a long time ago, about 17 years ago. I simply made the decision that I wanted to go to work as myself. And I wanted to figure out how to take my background as a corporate trainer and my systems in motherhood and package that into a business. I had no idea. I had no products. I just had an idea. And I figured it out. My very first stop, I went to a small business resource center in my town. And I was told that my idea, mom coaching, did not make any sense and that no one would ever pay me to do what I've done today. And I always share the story because maybe you're like me and you're this out of the box thinker. You can't help it. These ideas come to you all the time. And you know that there's something big that you're meant to purpose, right? That you're meant to do in your life, but you can't figure out how to do it. Well, this live is going to be for you. I'm talking about the importance of betting on yourself today. I'm going to break this all the way down. Now, let me say this, that if your feelings get hurt easily, this is not going to be the training for you. Because what I'm going to share here, it's my intention to create a shift, okay? A shift inside of you so that you make different choices, so that this upcoming year is the best year ever because you finally make that decision to show up for yourself. You know, as a result of me making that decision to show up in my dream, I went to a small business resource center. That wasn't a fit for me. I kept looking for someone to help me. And I ended up finding an amazing coach. I went to a live event. And at that event, I witnessed someone doing what I wanted to do. And I was like, that's it, right? Because sometimes we know that we're meant for something bigger, but it's when we see someone walking in their purpose, doing what we want to do, it's confirmation. And that's what happened for me. Okay, that's literally what happened for me. And I made a decision to invest with a coach. I had never thought of this before, and it changed my life. And as a result of that, I've been able to be a full-time entrepreneur for over a decade. I've been able to be the kind of mom that I wanted to be and to build the business that's time rich. And so that was really important to me because I knew if I worked in corporate America, I could make a great income, right, according to the standards of most. But what I couldn't get back was my time. I was going to have to work 40 to 70 hours a week for 20 plus years. And I didn't want to do that. The price was too high, and I wanted to figure out how to get myself free. Fast forward, I've built an amazing business working from the comfort of my home. I've serviced thousands of women all around the world who call themselves giants. And I only work with giants because to change your life, you've got to have that mindset. You've got to be giant about changing your life. You've got to be giant about implement. You've got to be giant about proactively seeking resources that can absolutely change your world and your knowledge about how to do what it is that you want to do, right? It doesn't come because you have the dream, you hope, and you wish. It comes from the actions that you take in your life. Hey, Carla, good to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm super pumped up today. And I'm going to talk, Carla, about how to bet on yourself. And I will tell you that I've got, 7 simple points here. But I know that as a result of what I'm going to share tonight, that somebody's going to change. Somebody's going to shift. And I'm real excited to be able to share this. You know, my husband developed kidney disease about 10 years ago. I think some of you guys know this if you watch my stories. And you know that was a really scary time for me. My kids were 9, 6, and 3. Or no, 12, 9, and 6, 12, 9, and 6. And I still had to show up like mom. I had to be his wife. And one of the things that I never regretted was because I built my business properly, I could be the kind of wife that he needed me to be. I could stand in the gap. And so many women are codependent on their spouse for income or codependent on their jobs for income. So they can't stand in the gap when they need to. And this is why I come on these lives. This is why I take my time and I spend my time with you to share this, because if there's one person that gets this, I want you to understand this one thing, that a man is not a plan and your job is not a plan. And I mean this respectfully. My husband and I, we just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. And I thank God all the time that I showed up for myself first. And because I did and built an amazing business, I could be there for my family to stand in the gap when my husband needed me the most. And I hope that as a result of you guys hearing my message, my truth, okay, that it helps you to stand on my shoulders and know, listen, if you're counting your husband's income, right, in order for you to figure out what you want to do, you have the ability and the capacity based on your knowledge and your gifts and your talent and your experience to be able to monetize at the highest level. And you do not need to be codependent on any income from your job in order for you to have lifestyle. I'm just talking to you. All right. And I hope this resonates. All right. So I'm going to jump into the live in the next minute. If you're ready, I want you to write, I'm ready. Okay. Because this is going to be a really powerful message. I've already warmed up, right? I've already started to warm up, and it's a powerful message. And you've got to be ready to receive a powerful message. So if you're ready, I want you to write, I'm ready. Okay. And if you're watching the replay, I want to hear from you too. I want you to write, I'm ready. All right. And as a result of growing this business, one of the greatest gifts to me is being able to give my children a world-class education. As a mom, that's something I always wanted to do, LaVon. And I know you're ready, and Carla. I'm so excited about that. And we've invested over $1 million in educating our kids in just elementary, middle, and high school. Really important to me, Robin. That was really important to me. I wanted to give my kids an amazing education. And I know that many of you that follow me, some of you are moms also, and one of the reasons that you're building the business is because you want to give your children the best. All right. I want you to understand this, that you give your children not what you want, you give your children who you are. See, here's the reality is that the most selfish thing that we can do as women, as moms, is not know who we are, Mrs. T, right? If we don't know who we are, and then we can't give our kids all of who we are. Does that make sense? So we have a responsibility to show up for ourselves first and grow ourselves, grow our life. And as a result of that, we'll be able to add value to the people we love the most, the relationships that matter the most. I learned that if I hadn't built my business, if I hadn't shown up for myself, if I didn't go after my dream, when my family has needed me over the years, I wouldn't have been able to be there for them. And I want you guys to get this, because so many women say, I'm building it for my kids. I'm building my business for my husband. I'm building my business for my family. And if you look at what you've done over the last week, over the last month, over the last year, over the last 5 years, and you say, man, I haven't done a whole lot, then you've got the wrong why, okay? And it's time to renegotiate that why. Let's just jump in, all right? And I'm super excited about the live tonight. I'm going to teach on how to bet on yourself. And I wanted to do this particular training. I was talking to my husband tonight at dinner, and I was telling him, I said, you know what? The reality is that I've always just decided that I was going to bet on myself. And I didn't have the fear and the doubt not to move forward in my dreams. And I believe that's the reason why some people get to realize their dream and why others do not. All right. So I wanted to break down for you tonight, and I hope this helps somebody to move forward. I wanted to break down for you tonight the importance of betting on yourself. And there's 7 things that I'm going to share. Here's number 1. Okay, Danilo. Okay, number 1. The first thing that I had to learn, and you've got to learn, is that you got to trust that what you know has value when it's properly packaged. So hear me, okay? You've got to understand that what you know, okay, what you've been through, what you've gone through, your expertise, your education, and your experience, that those things have value when they're packaged the right way. And what I have seen as a result of coaching thousands of women and helping them to understand that it's not just that your gifts will make way for you. When your gifts are your gifts, they're the things that you naturally are doing. There's the thing that you do when you're creating results. You're just in the zone. You're just being yourself. And people confirm it every single day, whether it's at work or in your life, or your friends saying, man, you really made a difference in my life, or I did what it is that you said and it worked. Okay. Your gifts will make room for you, but you've got to properly package those gifts. so that you can create impact in the world. And when I tell you that so many people are not betting on themselves because they've got these incredible gifts and they have the proof because people have already told you over and over again that you are changing their lives, that your advice is making a difference, that your system is like incredible, but you don't have a package. So if I wanted to invest in you right now, it's a head scratch. It's a silence. You don't know what it is. And so many of you are giving away your knowledge, your intellect, your background, your years of experience. And you're giving it away because you are afraid to stand in your value. You are afraid to package, hey, Maria, you are afraid to package what you know at the highest level. And I know that I'm talking to somebody out there. And I wanted to talk about tonight that the importance of betting on yourself is understanding that, yes, you've got these gifts. They've made room for you. You have the evidence, right? You have the proof. People are confirming that what you know has really created change in their life. You're looking at the departmental results that you created, and the facts are all over the place. And now it's time for you to package that which you know. Okay, so that you can support more people in a consistent way, and that you can not only change the lives of one or two or three people or your department, but that you can change the lives of the people that you're meant to serve in a bigger way. Now, I will tell you there's something really funny about a calling, and I want you to hear me on this. The thing about having a calling is that when you have it, you already know you have it. Life is confirmation. You know it. But sometimes we have a giant calling on our life, but we also have a giant fear, right? That fear is our insecurity. That fear is our doubt. That fear is the noise in our life. That fear is the fact that we haven't worked on the proper, hi, Mia, good to see you, the proper self-investment so that we can see who we are and what we do at the highest level, right, Dad? Not everybody has had a dad like my dad is amazing, who's told them that everything that they want to do is possible. Not everybody's had that. So even though what you know has incredible value, the truth of the matter is you haven't packaged it at the highest level. And it's time for you to bet on yourself. You know, these people aren't coming to you just to come to you, just to stroke your ego. You're changing lives. What if you decided that instead of changing the lives for a small number of people or for a subset, but that instead that you would use your life, use your gifts to create tremendous impact? You know, it's one of the things that I love to see. I coach women, I help them package their knowledge into high ticket offerings. On and offline is pretty incredible. Most of the women that come to me, when they come to me, they have a vision of what they want to do, but most of them have been underselling, undercharging, devaluing, not acknowledging all the things that they're giving to their clients, right? And so because of it, they've struggled with the gift. The gift has not made way for them because the gift has been a burden because they don't know how to properly package a gift. I'm talking to somebody. And if I'm talking to you, okay, I want you to say, Mia, you are talking to me. Okay. Okay. You say, Mia, you are talking to me. Then, you know, I was told that when you get a ringing in your ear, that's your calling. Your calling is one of those things that you know it. You're naturally doing it. You always do it. It doesn't feel like work. It's your gift, right? And it's your giftedness. And it's important for us to understand that. Number two, I'm talking tonight about how to bet on yourself. Number two, you got to put fear in its proper perspective. Okay, I'm going to break this down. Now, listen, you're going to need to put fear in its proper perspective. Now, here's the thing. The reality is that you already have the gifts and the talents, right? Carla says, Mia, you are definitely talking to me, right? You already have the gift, the talent, right? You already have this, Carla, all right? But you got to put fear in its proper perspective. See, the reality is that when we have giant gifts on the inside of us, okay, that create tremendous impact, sometimes the power of the gift is scary. when you think about the places that you can go that you've never been, when you think about the rooms that you can enter that you've never seen, when you think about the conversations that you're having that you're like, am I ready? You are ready. Okay. And so sometimes what happens is we allow the fear of the unknown to prevent us from what is known. What is known is that you have these talents, these gifts, right? And you know that when you use these gifts, you affect change wherever you are. You know this, yeah? Okay. If you know it, like you know this, okay? But the reality is that you got to put fear in its proper perspective. And you got to understand that you are going to be afraid, but fear is not a bad thing. It's a gift. See, the thing is, what I learned over the years is that every time I face my fears, I get to live with a new gift every single time. When I think about the very first time I had a desire, I had an intention to support women around the world and practicing better self-care as the mom strategist. And I got signed to my very first Emmy nominated, nationally syndicated television show as a mom expert, right? And I remember that. And I was like, wow, like this is a dream of mine. Am I ready? I wouldn't be there if I wasn't ready. And I showed up anyway. I said yes anyway. And when I did that, other things began to unlock for me that became the evidence that I was so ready. So I want you to understand this, that right now, I want you to think about the things that you're saying no to because of free fear. Maybe you're saying, I need 6 months. I need to go back to school. I need to get another certification. I'll do this after I get my website built. Maybe you're saying no, right? Not because you're not ready. Maybe you're saying no because you are afraid of the unknown. And I want you to know that on the other side of fear is every single thing that you desire. Every single time that I've said yes, when I think about that very first time that I was signed to an Emmy nominated national syndicated television show to coach a family live, I did amazing, but I didn't know it until I said yes. When I think about after that, I got signed to another Emmy nominated nationally syndicated television show called America Now as the mom expert. And I had never done that before. I didn't know if it was going to work, but you know what? It worked out perfectly because I said yes. And there's something really powerful about standing in your yes. And so many people stand in their no, okay? And as a result of standing in their no, they never get to realize, Robin or Carla, that it's all possible, because it is. Okay, Robin, you're right. I'm going to put your comment here. Yes, beautiful photo, by the way. Thank you, Mia. I took your advice from your videos. I'm developing my brand and hosting a website launch party on March 1st. This is my way of packaging my knowledge and services. It is also my way of marketing my brand. You're taking action, right? And it feels good to say yes. It feels good to say yes. Number 3, know that you wouldn't see it if you didn't have the capacity to achieve it. You got to understand this, right? You wouldn't see it if you didn't have the capacity to achieve it. You wouldn't see it. And so that vision that you keep seeing over and over again, that giftedness, right? The solutions that you're providing for others, the way that is so clear for you, okay, you wouldn't see it if you didn't have the capacity. You understand this? Okay. All right. And so what you've got to understand that should help you put fear in its proper perspective. I've always thought differently about opportunities. I've always thought differently about my intellect. I've always thought differently about packaging my intellect. And I know that it's the reason why I've been a very effective coach, helping my clients to monetize at the highest level. Why? Because I've always thought differently about that. And I decided that instead of just being the best kept secret, that I had a responsibility to share my gifts with the world. And I want you to think about this, Maria and Carla. How are you going to share your gifts with the world? Maria writes, yes and yes, right? How are you going to share your gifts with the world? Know that you wouldn't see it if you didn't have the capacity to achieve it. The only reason you can see it is because it is inside of you, right, to achieve it. And so you've got to trust that knowing. You got to see that as a compass, as a guide. You got to understand that is your life speaking to you. That is your spirit speaking to you. That is your internal guidance telling you you are on the right track. And when we know, right, because we see these things and we move in the opposite direction, believing that we need more. The only reason you see it, the only reason you see it is because you have the capacity to do it. All right. And I want you to lean into that. Number 4. Okay. You need to invest bigger, right, than your belief to manifest the dream. Now, this is some heavy conversation right here. All right. Now, I want you to think about this. Imagine you've got this dream of what you want. One of the things that's super important when you have a dream is to invest time, money, and energy, right, to manifest the dream. Time, money, and energy to manifest the dream. Time, money, and energy to manifest this dream. LaVon, you get this, right? Okay. So what's really important is understanding that you got to invest time, money, and energy, right? That's bigger than your belief to manifest that dream. It's so important. And I think that one of the things that people don't think about enough, Dino, is that your investment needs to be more than your belief. See, there's something really powerful when we invest in ourselves, right? When we invest bigger than even what the vision is. There's something magical that happens. And I'm going to explain this to you. So 17 years ago, I started my coaching practice, and I started it. I didn't even have any product. I had no clients. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I had a belief in myself. I had a belief. And I decided that I saw someone doing what I wanted to do, and I wanted to make an investment with a coach and a mentor who had evidence of the kind of success that I desired. And the only people I will ever invest with are people who have evidence of the kind of success that I desire. And what that looked like for me was I wanted someone who was a full-time entrepreneur, because I wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur. I wanted to work with someone who had a great relationship with their spouse, because I have a great relationship with my spouse. I wanted to work with someone who generated their business from the comfort of their home. And they had options, they had lifestyle, because that's how I wanted to build my business. And I didn't want to build my business as a speaker on the road. I didn't want that. Okay. I wanted to be able to go to my kids' school whenever I wanted to and be there 100% the way I wanted to. And I had to invest bigger than my belief to manifest the dream. Because I remember the very first time I found out like what a significant investment was with my coach, and I didn't have the money. And I was like, okay, and if you ever want to check your belief in whatever it is that you want, you got to understand that the way to check your belief is when you have to put an investment in yourself that's bigger than anything that you have realized currently. Now we're playing in the right pool. Okay. And so I had to make an investment in myself based on where I wanted to be, where I wanted to go, where I wanted to grow. See, a lot of people make investments because they make small investments because they don't necessarily believe the thing that they want is possible. But what if you invested like you believed it was possible? I want you to think about that. That's how I've always invested. And I know that's why I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over a decade. I know that's why I've been able to realize my dream, build a business. I work 6 hours a week from the comfort of my home, servicing my clients, doing what I love to do. I know that that has happened because I invested in myself at the highest level because I had a belief that that was possible. And I didn't want to invest in my dream. I didn't want a small invest in my dream. I knew that my dream was worth it. And I did the work, time. I put the time in, the money, right? I put the money in, okay? I did, okay? And LaVon writes, wow, things would change tremendously. It's so important. And Dino says, get off my toes, but I'm definitely listening. This is so important. And I think a lot of times we don't think about it. I made investments always significant based on where I believed I wanted to go. And I had no evidence. I had no proof that it will work. And my clients are saying they're all high ticket investors in themselves. You know, I have a client that just realized $75,000. She started working with me in December, and she just closed over $75,000 in whatever period of time. It's been 2 months, and she didn't know it was going to work, but she bet on herself at a high level. And as a result of that, she's been able to see a return. Maybe, just maybe, the reason you're not seeing a return is because you don't invest in yourself at the highest level, you know, and the return you're getting is based on the investments that you're making. And I want to tell you that the return you're getting is based on the investments that you're making. Sometimes we invest in things that we don't need. We invest in personalities. We invest in toxic beliefs, hustle and grind, people that tell us that we're going to dominate somebody else. We invest in people that say, look, you got to work hard, you got to be twice as good, you got to, all of that. And these things, okay, of systemic toxic culture that don't allow you to be all of who you are. Who could ever work twice as hard, twice as long for the rest of their life? It's real difficult to do that. Okay. The reality is that, what if you had the ability to build your business with ease and grace? That's what I teach my clients. I decided for myself, I just wanted to figure out, how could I build my business in the way that was congruent with my life? How could I build a business around my life and not the other way? I'm just saying there's a different way to live. And sometimes it's important to have an elevated conversation. And if the only conversation you've been having is trading time for dollars, maybe it's time to enter different rooms. Okay. All right. Number five, the importance of betting on yourself. I know that if you want to bet on yourself, one of the things that's super important is to associate with what I call giants. Now, to me, a giant, I only work with giants, and my clients, they're smart, they're sharp, they're action takers, they're implementers. They proactively seek the change that they desire. They're not looking for a sale or a discount. They invest in themselves because they want to change their lives. They love being in the company of other people who are winning. They celebrate that. All right. And I want to tell you, if you're betting on yourself, one of the things that's really important is really understanding the importance of your culture. Listen, I'm not, look, listen to me. All right. You need to ask yourself right now, who are you with? Your own ambition level and above. Your own ambition level and above. I'm not talking about your friends that are got great jobs and your colleagues. I'm saying your ambition level, the thing that fires you up, the out of the box ideas that you have every single day. Who do you get to share those things with? I believe it's important to associate with giants, your own ambition level and above, people who see outside of the lines, the boxes, right? Who draw squiggly lines, because there's something magical that happens when that's the case. You know, if you're not in that case, then you're talking to people who believe that in order for you to achieve what you need to achieve, that you've got to do it a certain way, that you've got to, you know, check this box and provide this form and get this education. What if I told you that what you have right now is enough? Because it is. And that's one of the things that I teach my clients, is that what you have right now is enough. It's more than enough. All of this work experience, all of this life experience, what you've gone through, what you've been through, your life experience, whether it's a life skill, a hard skill, a soft skill, it does not matter. It is highly monetizable. And when you are in the company of giants who reflect to you that possibility, you stand taller. And the reason that most people never get to stand tall is because they're not around giants, they're around ants, quite frankly. They're around the herd, people who want to do what everybody else is doing. It's time to do things differently. Number 6, okay? You need to do the work without checking the results. You got to do the work and not check the results. Now, that sounds real whacked, right? Like, what are you saying, Mia? I'm saying that when you have a calling on your life, you know, when you do the work, magical things happen, right? Okay. So you do the work and you just stay in doing the work and you don't check the results, because the reality is that so many people allow their ego to drive them. And so they're looking always for validation. And I'm going to break this down. So that some of you guys are like, how you grow a business, you don't check the results. Listen, okay. Let me explain this to you. So people want to be popular. Okay. And a lot of people choose popularity over profitability. Okay. And this is how they do it. Like, so they have this herd mentality. You guys have heard about a new platform, right? The Clubhouse. And a lot of people are like, yes, it's Clubhouse, it's new. Let me get over there. And I've got an audience and I can be first. And wow, people will know me and love me. And yay. Okay. Oh, no, 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 no. I need Instagram. No, no, no. I need these great photos. That's what's gonna do it. Like, folks need to follow. No, no, I need to get on LinkedIn. Okay. No, I need to go on Facebook. I need to blog. Well, no, I need a podcast show. I got to do all of these things. What if I told you, just do the work? The work is create results for people, which you know how to do, and you don't have to check it, because if you build your business to only create results, there's nothing to check. I'm not thinking about a million platforms to be on. I use Facebook. I come on Facebook. I have for years, 2 times a week, whatever it is. That's what it is. Okay. I don't have to build my business in any sense of quiet desperation. I don't have to narrow a market. I don't have to figure out what's going on. My ideal clients come to me, and they come to me because I create results. So I just do the work. Okay. And I don't have to check the results because my clients share what those results are. And if you build your business to only create results for others, you won't be so stressed about running around trying to convince people to do business with you. You don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. Let them do that. Okay. Let them do that. Okay. Let them do that. All right. That's what the herd does. And that's not what we do when we're successful in business. I could care less about doing a podcast or convincing somebody. I don't have to convince anyone. I'm using my gifts. They make room for me. They create change and results in the lives of others. And as a result of that, I have evidence that I can create those results and proof. And you have that too. And that is the only thing that tells the full story of the kind of results and transformation that you create. It's just simple. And number 7. Now, 7's a little radical. And that's just launch and figure it out. So if you're that person, you're like, I need 2 months, I need 3 months, I need 5 months, I need 6 months to launch something, to figure out if it's working. I was just talking to my accountability partner about this today. No, you don't. You don't need it. What if I told you you could launch right now? When I think about the number of people who they never get to launch anything because they're always waiting for the perfect time to do everything. I'm just not that like that. I don't teach my clients that, The time to launch is right now. The time to test is right now. Right now. You already have this, and the reality is just launch and figure it out. Don't wait and figure it out. Just do it. You figure it out, you'll learn so much more. When I think about, that's my mentality, everything that I create, like I think of it and I just launch it. And I'm not attached to being a success or failure, because I know that failure isn't real, that failure is there to grow me. That's how I learn. Every single thing that I've done, I learn more by trying than trying to get everything just right. And some people are just trying to get everything just right. And because they're trying to get everything just right, they never get to launch. That magical moment never happens. That perfect launch date doesn't happen. But just launch. Okay. And when you launch, you'll figure it out. Okay. Launching can be many things. When you write the book, you keep the message out. You know what I mean? When you decide to speak, you'll people hear your message. So this idea that no one can ever say yes to that which you do not do, that you're thinking of. So you've got these amazing gifts and these talents. It's time to bet on you. And that means launch. That means go for it. Okay. And are there best practices? Yeah, of course. If I were you, what would I do? I'd have a mentor. That's what I've always done. Okay. I've worked with the same mentor for 17 years. Okay. That's my story. And it's worked for me. But launch. It's time. So that's what I wanted to share with you tonight, the importance of betting on you. I would love, Robin, to hear from you, okay? And I would love to hear your aha, your takeaway, or any question you have for me around betting on yourself. And it's something I'm really good at. I've had great success betting on myself over and over and over again. And I know this is the way. I'm just going to recap. If there's an aha or takeaway question you have for me, post it here and I will answer it. Number one, I covered today on how to bet on yourself is number one, trust that what you know has value properly packaged. And so sometimes the issue is that we don't have what we know properly packaged. And because we don't, that's one of the things that gets in the way. I'm going to post a link to my live event that teaches you how to package what you know at the highest level. Okay. So that's super important. All right. Number two, put fear in its proper perspective. Okay. Put fear in its proper perspective. And that's super important, right? You put fear in its proper perspective because it is a gift. It is a gift for you. Number three, know that you wouldn't see it if you didn't have the capacity to realize it, right? So, this idea that you see it, okay, don't worry about it. Okay, you can do this. You got this. Okay. All right. Number four, invest bigger than your beliefs to manifest your dreams. Invest bigger than your beliefs to manifest your dreams. Okay. Really important. And I've always invested bigger. And that's why I've created greater results because whatever my dream is, I invest bigger than that. Okay. And that's helped me to materialize it. Number five, associate with giants and only giants. So I only have an appetite to hang out with giants. And number six, do the work without checking the results. Just do it. Build your business to create results for others. And don't get yourself hung up on like, will this work? I hope this will work. You got this. Okay. Number seven, just launch and figure it out. Just launch and figure it out. All right. So I'd love to hear your ahas or your takeaways from today. And there are a couple. Okay. Carla writes, oh my God, Queen Mia, you are definitely talking to me. Awesome. And she also writes launch. Awesome. And Lavon writes, thank you so much for this, Mia. Okay, you're welcome. I'm glad you got value being here. And then let's see. Robin writes, absolutely, I will share my takeaways. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and passion with me and other women. You bet. Are there any other ahas or takeaways? We have a responsibility to do that. And I'm really excited about being able to support women stepping into their next, right? I'm excited about it. So are there any other ahas or takeaways? It's a pretty full live tonight. Any other ahas or takeaways? It was a good one. And I would even recommend listening to this again now that you know what these are and writing down for yourself these things as you're doing this, right? And Dino writes, thank you, Queen. You really encouraged me more. You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other ahas or takeaways tonight? Anybody want to share? I hope that as a result of you hearing this today, that you'll do something, right? If you're watching this replay, you're welcome, Carla. That if you're listening to this, that you'll take an action that can change your life. And I'd love to support you on your journey. If you're looking for a coach or consultant and you want to package your knowledge as a high ticket offering, and you're ready to step 100% in to the implementation to change your life, then I'd love to support you, right? Yeah. Someone writes from Facebook, use fear as a fuel and launch. Fear is a fuel. It is fuel. And it 100% is. And I think a lot of times we believe that fear means like stop and become afraid. And the reality is you don't need to be afraid of fear. Fear is there to help you understand your power, the power of that gift. Okay. And just got to understand that. Lavon writes, the return you're getting is based on the investment you are making. This is so true. You got to put skin in your game. Yes. And you have to invest at a level that you can't walk away from. And that's so important. Okay. And Maria writes, just launch while need to move the fear out of the way. Right. And Dino writes, I'm ready and been ready. I just simply had that fear. Yeah, absolutely. And Robin says, my biggest takeaways are to always bet on yourself. And the best time to invest in yourself is always right now. Always. You're your number one investment. And Arlene, hey there, beautiful. Good to see ya. You know what I'm talking about. It's Arlene. You're welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Arlene, I'm so glad you're here. And so I know that you're learning as a result of being here also, right? As a student. So always learn how I do lives, what I'm doing here, serving my audience 100%. All right. So are there any ahas or any other takeaways as a result of being here? I am so excited because I know that there's somebody that's listened to this or who will listen to this replay, and this might be the very message that changes everything for you. I'm super excited. Any final takeaways, any final ahas before I sign off? And I want you to know that it's been a pleasure to be here tonight because you could have been anywhere on this beautiful evening, but you are here, okay? And but you're here, and you're here for a reason. Dino writes, I'm a cook. I have my own recipes. I cook vegan as well. So that's your knowledge, right? I would suggest, Dino, if you haven't already checked him out, his name is, what is Darius's, let me see if I can find him real quick. 1 second. There's a vegan chef. Well, he cooks vegan, Darius. Darius. Do you know Darius? Darius Cooks. Darius Cooks. Okay, check him out. I bought his soul food vegan cookbook. It's pretty good. And check him out. He's pretty good. He'll be good for you to watch what he's doing on the as a cook and as he sold a very successful vegan cookbook, soul food cookbook last year. My biggest aha is launching right now. I love that, Mia. You know, I love your name, of course, right? And spell his name Darius, Darius Cooks. And he did Vegan with Soul. You can look it up. It's a pretty amazing cookbook. And I bought it actually. And he created all the recipes himself. He shot all the pictures of the recipes that he cooked himself with his iPhone, and did the cover the same way. Self-published a book, made hundreds of thousands of dollars with this cookbook. It's pretty amazing. I would check him out. He's on Facebook. He's got a pretty large following, so I think he would be a great resource for you. Okay. Any final ahas, takeaways? I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Patricia writes, my biggest takeaway is to just launch and figure it out. Thank you. That's a big one, right? Just the launch, right? Just instead of thinking about it, do it. Don't just think about it. Okay. Don't just talk about it. Do it. Okay. Robin says, I'm vegan. You should follow Tracy McQuarter. She's vegan, cookbook author, and a nutritionist. There you go. Okay. See there, Dino? Sometimes, it's just that stepping into it. And I believe that there's always a layer of money around us that we can't see. So there's opportunity all around us. People who are waiting on us to just say yes to our dream, just to speak it out loud. Okay. And it comes to pass. It's super important. And he says, Total Queen, thanks. Thank you in Hebrew. Shalom, peace, and blessings to you all. Awesome. So glad you came on tonight. Okay. I want to thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.